Some side windows are curved and may require the use of a heat gun to form the film to the glass. Leaving a 1-inch space from the bottom gasket, force the fingers along the bottom by squeegeeing the film to the glass, closing the right and left side of the glass. This will force the fingers to be along the bottom of the glass only. This will make it easier to shrink. Remember, the film only shrinks from top to bottom, not side to side. Using a hard card of your choice, begin to heat the fingers from top down. As the finger begins to shrink, press the film to the glass with a hard card, applying pressure. In some instances, a finger will separate and become more than one, usually with large fingers. You can separate the larger fingers from the start to prevent the possibility of creasing the film. The liner can be removed in several ways. One method is to simply pick at the edge till the liner peels. You can then remove the liner to the desired point and spray the film thoroughly. It is important to move quickly as your film is exposed to contamination until it's on the glass. Make sure to spray the interior surface of glass with mounting solution. Carefully hold the film along the edges without applying too much pressure. Too much pressure may leave fingerprints on adhesive. Lift it above the door to the inside of the glass. Carefully hold the film on the very edges and apply the film one edge at a time. Pay close attention to the top edge alignment. Position the top edge with a 1/16 to 1/8 inch gap to the edge of the glass. Once aligned, use an Unger handle with a Blue Max to squeegee an area along the top edge of the glass. Always check your top edge alignment and continue to squeegee the window to the side. Use a squeegee wrapped in a lint-free towel to absorb any excess water along the edge. Make sure you have not overlapped the top edge. Using a heat gun, heat the outside of the glass to warm. Do not overheat. Using a hard card of your choice, press the film side against the glass to accelerate the tack, keeping a distance of 2 to 5 inches from the glass. Touching the film often will allow the installer to feel if the film is getting too warm. Excessive heat can damage the film. The installer is pressing lightly against the inside of the window as it's being rolled up to keep the top edge of the film from coming into contact with the window gasket. This will avoid separating the film from the glass before the adhesive has completely set. Raise the film and spray in a downward motion, flushing any contamination downward. Hold the film in place while carefully removing the liner. Always pull down to prevent any creases. Once removed, lift the film and insert it behind the gasket, starting from the corners and moving inward. If the film does not slide behind the gasket easily, you will need to use a hard card or bone stick to create some separation from the glass. Carefully lower the film behind it as you move along the bottom edge. To slide film behind the gasket, a red devil can be used to create a space between the gasket and the glass. Once you have a space, gently slide the film behind the gasket. When the film is flat against the glass, squeegee the remaining water behind the film downward. Squeegee the film with pressure, forcing all the excess water down. Start with the center and work your way to each corner. Stop just short of the bottom edge. Squeegee the bottom from one side to the other, keeping the corner of the squeegee tight against the gasket. Again, use a hard card with a towel to soak up any excess water from the bottom edge. It may be necessary to insert a hard card to allow enough separation to insert the towel. Additional passes with a squeegee may be necessary to remove any leftover mounting solution. Additional pressure with the squeegee may be applied if needed. Once complete, wipe away any excess water from the door panels and frames. With the door liner completely removed, place your hands behind the film and carefully lay it up against the glass. Insert the smaller end first, beginning at the bottom edge of the film. As you insert the film, push below the window gasket and forward as you bring your other hand forward towards the glass. Continue to push the film under the door gasket. The top of the film should be below the top edge. Once the film is aligned completely on the glass, position the top edge with a 1/16 to 1/8 inch gap to the edge of the glass. Once aligned, use an Unger handle with a Blue Max to squeegee an area along the top edge of the glass. Always check the top edge alignment and continue to squeegee the window to the side. Avoid forcing the squeegee into areas it will not fit. This will lock down your top edge to allow you to roll up the window to complete the bottom. Using a hard card of your choice, press the edges that cannot be reached by your Blue Max. Use a squeegee wrapped in a lint-free towel to absorb any excess water along the edge. Once complete, wipe away any excess water from the door panels and frames. Clean the exterior of the glass. For tighter gaskets, you can use a hard card of your choice without a towel to finish the edges. Always make sure you have a fresh edge on your hard card to avoid scratching the film. Start away from the corner, working your way through the corner and along the edge. Clean the exterior of the glass. Spray the glass and position the film along the bottom of the gasket and tack the center of the film. Carefully poke the film in the corner to create a relief cut so that the film can easily slip into the corner without creasing. You will want to do this to all the corners. Exposing just the tip of the blade, cut along the edge, resting the knife on the frame. A lot of pressure is not needed here, as you are not actually cutting with the tip of the blade. Also, be extremely careful in these areas. The softer the gasket, the easier it becomes to accidentally cut it. Make sure you always have a fresh blade to lessen the chance of cutting the glass. Move to a transfer board to finish the edges. Mark along the edges to the corner with a marking pencil. Then move it to a transfer board for cutting. Lightly wet the surface of the glass and tack the film in place on the transfer board. The installer uses a straight edge to trim away the excess film on 2 of the 3 sides, and freehand cuts the slightly curved side of the quarter glass film. A freehand cut like this one will take some practice in order to perfect the technique. For the less experienced installer, a curved ruler could be used to guide the knife blade. Make certain you have a fresh blade. Expose the blade slightly and position it at the top corner. Carefully cut a very small edge of the gasket. This will allow for easier installation and prevent daylight from showing through. Be sure to trim all the gasket material around the quarter glass frame. With the liner removed, apply the top of the quarter glass first, pushing upward. Slightly push on the film and gaskets to position the film flat against the glass. With a small squeegee, begin to squeegee the film to the glass with multiple passes, applying more pressure with each pass. Use a card like an Easy Reach to press the film in hard-to-reach areas. You can also complete the squeegee process with an Easy Reach. Always dry the edges with a hard card wrapped in a lint-free towel. For tighter gaskets, you can use a hard card of your choice without a towel to finish the edges. Always make sure you have a fresh edge on your hard card to avoid scratching the film. Start away from the corner, working your way through the corner and along the edge. Use a heat gun to warm the glass. This will accelerate the tack of the film along the edges. Use your opposite hand to check the glass for heat. When the glass reaches a warm temperature, use a hard card and towel and start from above the finger with a fair amount of pressure and push the finger down towards the edge. Some larger fingers may split into 2 or more smaller fingers. Continue to warm the glass and work on one finger at a time. If too light of an amount of pressure is used, the film can crease as you work on each finger. Be careful not to overheat the glass and/or burn the gaskets.